Good morning, welcome to sunny Saranda, Albania. Today we're going on a bit of a day trip. Where are we going?
We're going to take the bus to Gjirokaster.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're meeting a couple of friends here and we're going to spend the day with them there. So if you've arrived in Saranda, you've probably taken a bus to get here anyways. So you know where you need to go to get back on. The buses and the taxis all congregate in this area here. We're not sure how long the bus takes. We're thinking it's about an hour. Not sure the cost, but we'll tell you that. But there's just all cafes and buses here. There is a schedule. You have to kind of come and ask. We came before the day ahead. The buses just fill up, and then when they're full on a reasonable schedule, then they'll go. There's also a whole pile of taxis here if you needed to get a taxi somewhere. They just line up the whole way down the road. You can get coffees, waters, whatever you want here in the morning. Suppose you could get a beer if you wanted it. I wouldn't suggest any of that before you get on the bus because it does not stop for anyone to go to the bathroom. So you'll be holding it the entire way. It's definitely not that organized here for getting a bus. We came down earlier and they said 8 o'clock. And it would be here at 1:45. There's a sign of all the buses leaving here, but none of them actually say that they're going to Gjirokaster, so we think it might be a bus to Saranda that stops at the corner where Gjirokaster is. But it's a long way from the corner into town, so we're not sure. It's confusing here sometimes. And this intersection is just chaos in the daytime. We are at the only spot where buses come, so suppose like everything else in Albania, we'll figure it out on the fly. So it does pay to ask questions because the bus we're taking to Gjirokaster is actually labeled for Berat. So I suppose it'll stop and let us off somewhere close to where we're going. Right, so the price is 900 for two. Okay, so that was about 1 hour on the bus to get here. One of the interesting things that happened on the ride, there's always fun things that happen. The bus stopped. It wasn't even at a bus stop. Somebody flagged down the bus. And a young lady got on and she handed her grandma some money, kissed her on the cheeks, and then got back off. You just never know what you're gonna get here. The bus where we're at here is a long way from where we need to go. So we're not sure what we're gonna do now. All right, well, apparently there's another bus we can get. It'll take us from where we are, because I know where Gjirokaster is, and it's nowhere near where we're sitting now. So we'll just sort of hang around and wait, see what happens. The only reason we know that there's a bus coming here is there's a couple of locals standing at the side of the road. There's no bus stop, there's no sign, nothing. You wouldn't have a clue if you didn't talk to a local and find out. Well, so far no bus. The locals that were standing here got picked up by people they knew or kind of hitchhiked, so we're still not sure how we're getting there. We're hoping a little bus comes by. This might be a bus. Success, a bus.
Five for this.
Castra.
To Gjirokaster.
Okay, so we just got off of that thing. It was filled with 11 people. It was 200 lek each to the outskirts of Gjirokaster. We've got a way to walk to get to where we're going here. We're trying to see what the story is, maybe to get home. We're trying to figure out where we can get a bus or a taxi to go back, but I guess we'll find out. Well, I tell you, even after 3 trips to Albania, it's still confusing as hell to get around, honestly. But we shall work it out. We shall figure it out. So now we got to walk into Gjirokaster a bit here. So when you get off the bus, keep walking down the road. Don't walk up any main roads. Keep walking down the road. If you want to get to where we're going, up to the castle in the old town, walk till you see this. And then you're going to go up this small, old cobbled road here. And if you're not in the best of shape, like me, it's going to be a long haul to the top. I don't know what this is. I don't know. When I hear that, all I think is, bring out your dead. The city actually could be a scene for an old movie like that. I'm excited to show you the old town. Parking's at a bit of a premium here. This is how you save your parking spot at your house. You just put your chairs out, or your cones, and away you go. Ooh, I can hear lots of wasps, or bees. Like a swarm of them. Oh, wow, there's just tons of them up there. There's vines. It's just packed. Wow, you can hear it. It's like listening to a drone in the sky.
Are you hearing what I'm hearing?
Somebody's got bees.
It's a lot of bees.
Oh, you know what it is? Honeysuckle.
Oh, honeysuckle apparently. It's quite the walk up the hill. What do you think of that, Sarah?
It's a sweaty one.
Yeah, and today it's quite cool. Can't imagine walking up here if it was 30 or 40. Wow. Here we're going to get a bit of a glimpse of the castle. We'll be going up there later. After we check out the old town. If you stay here, you're woken up in the morning by the sounds of roosters. Everyone's got roosters here. So we remember it being not too peaceful in the morning. They're going at 5 o'clock. Whew. There's hostels here too. Here's one. You can stay at hostels. There's a few hotels. The last time we were here, we stayed in a guest house with a family. And that was a really great experience. Having them cook us breakfast in the morning. You know, you don't have your own space for everything, but it was well worth the cultural experience. This kind of stuff, this I love. Just a little market at the side of the road. This will be interesting to see how these guys navigate the road. One guy's on the concrete wall already with his car. And you can see why so many of these cars here are beat up. He was trying to pass there and actually scraped the side of his car up the concrete wall. Doesn't even get out. Keeps going. No big deal. Another hostel. If you're gonna stay at a place here, it can be really hard to find stuff. Definitely Google Maps. And even then, make sure you have the phone number of your host. Then you can tell them where you're at if you're lost. Last time we were here, we were staying at a place, told us to go to Ruga Capobaco. Ruga means road. So we couldn't find the street sign. We're looking for a road, right? This is the place. So you can imagine when you're looking for a road, you're not looking for a street sign that's 40 feet in the air. And what's not a road, it's just a walking path. So, it took us a while to solve that riddle. Here's another hostel. I've heard good things about this one. And then, after that, you're completely exhausted, but you're into what is the old part of town, which is just cobbled roads with small shops. Some still abandoned, closed, I don't know. It's not tourist season yet either. So maybe once that happens, it'll get busier. How's the walk, Sarah?
Still sweaty.
Yeah. You have to earn your tourism on this one. Actually, you kind of have to earn it in all of Albania. It's a hard place to navigate at times with, you know, a reasonable bus service, but, you know, a lot of times there's no bus stop. You just have to know where to stand. So if you're not from here, good luck with that. Unless you can talk to some people and figure it out. Worst case scenario, you can get a taxi. Taxis in general are reasonable. The prices go up in tourist season, I believe. But there are times where I found the taxi drivers will quote you a price that's like the tourist rate. And it's not the same rate as if you were staying longer term. So, for example, we've been quoted 1,000 lek for a ride that was only 600 or 700, and we just said no, we're not paying that. We'll pay 700. You know, the 100 lek was fine, but you know, I understand that they need to make money, especially when they have such a short tourist season. Sorry, I stepped in front of somebody's photo. Souvenir shops, restaurants. And then you get up to this point and you're actually at the center, at the peak. And if you spin around, there's little roads, lots of tourist stuff, lots of stuff to buy, trinkets, magnets, buttons, all that kind of crap. It's a beautiful day here today. It's about 17, 18 degrees. It's lovely. There's churches and mosques. No shortage of a place to eat. And some traditional Albanian dishes here. A couple street dogs here. The guy's looking a little tired. Maybe he's getting old. He's got some gray around his chin, kind of like me. So our friends are saying that they think this is a more authentic town than some of the others like Kruja. It's a beautiful place. I think we're going to stop here for a coffee. All right, so we had a couple of coffees and we're buzzing. And the guy didn't quite understand our order. I wanted a large coffee with some milk, and I think we got quad shots of espresso or something crazy. Whew. And little heart palpitations from that coffee. So the street dogs are pretty territorial here. If you're a tourist with your dog on a leash, the old street dogs like to defend their turf. They're not aggressive, but they're always barking and getting around your dog because it doesn't belong here. They all seem to have their own territory, I would say. Oh. It's one of the big pastimes in Albania. Sitting at cafes, drinking coffee, drinking raki, smoking cigarettes, talking to your buddies or your girlfriends. I don't see the women drinking raki. It's usually the guys. A lot of times it's groups of guys or groups of girls, but not a lot of time where we see them all mixing. Well, if you're not in shape, you will be after a day here. Get yourself a new suit here. I wouldn't want to be here in 40-degree weather. Vendors selling stuff. Tea. Those are bottles of raki. That's their homemade hooch. Holy hell. Well, the good news is we're almost at the castle. Whew. And there's a whole bunch of people lined up. It'd be funny if we walked the whole way up and it's not open. Well, despite the walk completely sucking, at least the weather's all right for it. You'd be dying if it was hot. Thank God there's a breeze. Well, done. Is it open? Could be. You're just tourists hanging out here. All right. Here we go. So despite the sign saying no photo or video, the guard here says it's okay. He said no problem. It's like a whole section of cannons and armament. Incredibly cool. It's interesting. Many of the places you come to, they say no photography, but then you see people doing it, and when you ask the people that work there, they're like, no problem, go ahead. So best just to ask. So this down here was the bakery for the fortress, for the castle. And you can see the kilns where they made the bread here. You can imagine large groups of people that were here would eat lots of food. Just huge. If you're a fan of castles, fortresses, history, Albania is a great place to come. In almost every city, there's a castle. We're overlooking the city here of Gjirokaster. You can see the football pitch. In the distance there's Mount Chaiupi. There's a national park up there. We've been up there and hiked. It's absolutely beautiful. Gjirokaster is located in a valley. In the summertime it can be extremely hot, and I believe in the wintertime there can be snow in these areas here for sure with these mountains. It's quite lovely. The fortress is just massive. It's just indescribable, and to fathom how many people and how long it would have taken to build this here. All constructed of stone. Up here they had a giant prison down below. It's pitch black. I can't film down there, unfortunately. But when you go down there, you just wonder what would be like to be stuck down there. It would just be horrifying. And from here, you can see actually snow-capped mountains in the distance. That's an amphitheater. They have concerts up here. I'm not sure if they bring out chairs, but there's sort of areas where people would sit and listen to live music here. There are signs up here explaining different things about the place, the history. If you're interested further, you can hire a private tour guide in many languages: German, Italian, French. They'll give you a tour. Explain the history. Albania has not been taken over by occupational health and safety rules. As you can see, it's just a small concrete wall here. You certainly wouldn't want to let your kids roam free. As you can see, if they were over the railing, that would be the end of it. I suppose if you design a place to keep people out, then if someone goes over the railing, that's to be expected. So we are here late April, just before noon on a weekday. Probably a good time to come. There are tourists here, but it's certainly not jam-packed. I would think in the summertime, with all the tour buses coming, I can't imagine how busy this place would be. I would probably recommend that you come here in the shoulder season, certainly before June or after September, maybe after September the 15th. There's a new road that's being built up here, or a revised road with a turnaround for buses. So there's lots of tourist buses that come up here, and the place would be it would be swarming with people. Not something we enjoy. Again, you gotta watch where you're walking here. Watch your kids for sure. because you can just walk right off of the edge. This is one of the beauties of Albania, not a detractor. It hasn't been taken over and spoiled by rules and regulations about you can do this, you can't do that. Don't walk here, don't step there, railings, don't go past this point. You know, when you go to parks in many countries, America, Canada, UK, you go to areas where there's tourists, there's always, you know, the beautiful view is spoiled by a handrail or signs that keep you back from where you can actually capture the good view like this. It's a country with so many freedoms in terms of personal choice. It works really well. This sign is classic. Only exit by the castle gate. As though someone would be trying to exit this way. Perhaps somebody did do an unplanned exit. So the interesting thing here is that since we've been here, the restoration efforts have continued, but they've installed some rails to keep you out of certain things. Obviously in the interest of preservation of what is here. It's absolutely amazing. So those would have been different shopkeepers from within the community that would have lived within the castle walls. Maybe different garment makers, cobbler, perhaps something like this. That's what their little shops look like. This is pretty impressive, isn't it, Sarah?
It sure is.
So if you come to Gjirokaster, do you absolutely need to come to the castle?
I would say it's a must visit. There's lots to see up here.
That's right. And come in the off season. You'll enjoy your experience better. You'll have a little more space to yourselves. I would say this is probably the best, if not one of the best, castle experiences in Albania. The castle at Berat has people that live in it. It's quite spectacular. The one up in Skoder, it's not a lot of stuff to the inside of it, but still the views are impressive. Well, we've done our amazing tour of the castle. Now we're in the old town here, heading for a bite to eat. More cafes are open. Oh, you can hear the mosque and the call to prayer. Pretty good stuff. I don't know if you can hear that. You can tell it's kind of catering to tourists now. People in the road show you their menu and they want you to come and stop. We've got a place we're going to, we've been to before. We call it the dueling restaurants because they're across from each other, and sometimes you have a flock of people in one and then everyone keeps going to that one if they see the other one empty. And then the other day it might be the opposite. The truth is, they're both very good. Alright, so we just finished up our lunch here. Had a great lunch here. Here at this one.
Nice to see you. Goodbye. Safe travels.
See you guys. Nice to meet you.
On the road down.
Okay.
We're gonna go straight down. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. It's Albania. We'll be good.
Yeah, it's Albania.
Take care.
Just ask. Stop someone on the street and ask.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, here they have art therapy and time travel. But if you come to Albania, you actually are time traveling. It's like going back in time.
This is where houseplants go to die.
This is where houseplants go to die.
What's that?
So the walk down at the end of the day is a lot better than the walk up at the start. And it's hard on your knees. That's for sure. The food there was great. It was really reasonable. We had a party of 7 people. And I don't think the whole thing came to $80. Would have been less than that, so. Amazing value. Anyway, we'll be taking our time here. Then we got to figure out how to get a bus to an intersection where we can pick up the other bus. So allocate a bit of extra time to figure that one out. Here's your typical Albanian scoot. Not the most luxurious, but gets you around. See how narrow these streets are?
Did you buy a lot of crazy.
So the question, of course, is, if you visit Albania, is it worth coming to Gjirokaster? The answer without question is yes. The castle itself may be one of the best things you may see in your life. It's absolutely stunning. The city is hilly. The old town is beautiful. There is the main city, the newer area. Is it worth staying here? We've stayed here before for 2, maybe 3 nights. And that was enough to see the majority of what we wanted to see. It's got lots of great restaurants. It's got lots of cafes. It's got everything that you would need, just like any other Albanian city. There are some foods that are unique to the area, worth trying. Have some sort of rice ball. It's only made here. Definitely, you'll need to be willing to do lots of walking up and down cobbled streets. If you don't have issue with that. You'll be fine, but you certainly wouldn't want to hike up and down this road a couple of times a day. My suggestion would be to stay in a guest house if you're not into the hostel thing. There's lots of guest houses, and I would say that that would be your best bet. This is a good time of year to be here. I mentioned before, it's now towards the end of April. There's certainly tour buses coming here already, probably from Greece. We've seen them in Croatia, but it's not too busy here. I think in the peak season, you'd have to be waiting to eat at restaurants. You may have trouble finding lodging, and I'm sure the costs of at least the lodging would be significantly more. There are some museums here you can visit. The castle, of course, is the pinnacle of what the city has to offer. You need to visit Old Town, walk around. If you plan on visiting here with a rental car, we have done it in the past. There is very limited parking. The streets are incredibly narrow. I'm not sure it would be my first choice again. We took the bus again today, just a day trip from Saranda. That said, I don't know about hauling luggage up this road. I've never had to do that. That would be not a fun experience. If you were just backpacking, would probably be okay if you had a small lightweight pack. So to give you some idea of prices where we ate, which is right in the Old Town, salads are about 300 lek. Salad with cheese, 350 lek. Mixed platter of local and traditional Albanian items, 750 lek. Somebody had fish that was 700 lek. Iced sodas, around 150 lek. Beer is around, I think, 250 lek. I think a glass of wine was around 200. I think somebody got a half-liter bottle actually for 450 lek. Homemade local wine. They said it was pretty good. Everybody thought the food there was really, really great. Our second time at that restaurant. We would definitely go again. Family restaurant, like most in Albania, of course. Everything's fresh. Everything tastes amazing. Bring cash. As with almost anywhere in Albania, credit cards are not accepted. You'll need to have cash. And I'm not sure in the Old Town, once you get up there, that there's actually any ATMs. There may be a bank actually on the other side, but I recommend you have your cash with you because you'll be disappointed if you want to have a coffee or something like this and have no way to pay for it. Speaking of coffee, great coffee here. Cappuccino, maybe 150 lek. Different kind of coffees. Certainly no large coffees like you would get in America or Canada or in many places in the world. Nonetheless, fresh, high quality, done proper in an espresso machine. Anyway, that's us back down to the main street. It's about 20 minutes to come back down. So we're going to walk down to what we think is the bus area. See how that goes. Like I say, we've been to Albania 3 times. Probably one of the hardest things to do is navigate the buses. You know, just to figure out when and where to go, where to stand. Sometimes the locals don't seem to know. Some do, you just have to start asking sometimes. kind of is what it is. Anyway, each time we manage to figure it out. So it's not like we don't end up where we need to go. But it's something that Albania needs to work on for tourism for sure. Just improved transportation, information. Even when an Albanian that was having lunch with us inquired with one of the locals who owned the restaurant about the buses, if there would be one going where we need to go, the answer was, of course, should be. I would suggest, if you're planning on taking buses around, that you have enough money and be prepared to hire a taxi if your plan's been foiled either by the bus system or your own misunderstanding of where and when. It's a laid-back country. Things are pretty chill. You'll always figure out how to get what you need. Just may take a bit of time. Not everyone's in a hurry to do anything. You just have to kind of accept it and enjoy it for what it is. There's lots of churches here you could visit. There's mosques. You got it all. No car, you'd have to take a taxi to some of those things for sure. You can hire a private tour guide here. I'm not sure of the price, but they will spend the day with you, spend a half day with you. They'll show you maybe just a thing of the castle if you want. Whatever you're interested in, it's there, it's affordable, it's incredibly professional. Tour guides here are required to be licensed. They're required to be university educated. They're required to speak Albanian as well as at least one other foreign language. And for some people that may be the way to go. Just have yourself a local expert for the day. You'll learn things about the history, the culture, that you certainly would never figure out on your own. So I would recommend that for sure. So just passing by Vodafone there. Speaking of internet, or cell phone I should say, it is incredibly cheap here. Incredibly cheap. A full-on plan is like 20 bucks for a month. 10 gigs of data, etc., etc. Just amazing. Oh, now we're talking to a bus guy. What the hell was that? That just came off a balcony or out the window, or fell from space? Oh, somebody has chucked a thing of food out their window for a dog. Ah, well, that's awesome. So there's like street dogs everywhere, right? But people take care of them, and someone just lobbed a bag of food out of their apartment window right into the parking lot for the dog to take and leave. That's awesome. People get the misunderstanding that these dogs that are here are all not taken care of, but they are taken care of a lot of times. Not always. The locals, the businesses, the restaurants, they take care of them. So we got a half an hour to wait for this bus. It'll take us down the road, 200 lek a person, and then it'll drop us off at an intersection and we'll wait. And at 4 o'clock we get the bus to Saranda, and that's 450 lek. So the entire thing each way per person, 650 lek. So we're just gonna stop at a little bar cafe and sit for a half hour. Motorcycles are a big thing to me. Interested to see this police motorcycle here. It's an Italian Aprilia. Interesting. They sit at intersections and have a little lollipop that they hold out. Red Stein means you gotta stop. They want to talk to you. Maybe it's your license plate, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. They don't seem to stop foreigners in rental cars. Maybe they can tell by the plates or something. Here's a guy selling oranges out of the back of his van. And then you got the, oh, there's two police guys here. They must have rode in on the bike. And they're doing their thing here. Stopping people. And that was the auto school. They're just doing their, you'll find usually a couple of them in each city that you drive through. So we got the right bus here anyway, that'll work out. Now the two cops get on their motorbike and away they go. The police here are armed, pistols and clubs and who knows what else. You can just come by your oranges right out of the back of a guy's van. He puts them on the scale and away you go. Probably be some of the best orange you've had in your life. Not like the stuff that we have at home, if you're into oranges. I'm not. Anyway, our bus should be leaving here soon. It says it's going to Saranda, but that's the end destination. We are just going to the intersection down the road. And then we transfer to another one. So this bus looks like it's pretty popular. Taxis are pulling in, people are pulling in and getting on to go to the capital. We're getting on last because we're just going to be the first ones off because we're not going very far. Now if you have allergies, there's lots of allergies this time of year here. Oh, big time bothered. Oh, here's our friend we met earlier today from Lithuania. She's found her way to the bus too. It just works. It's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, this one takes us up the road about 10 minutes. And we get off, we wait outside a market for the last bus going to Saranda. And if you miss that one, I guess you'll need to find somebody who can call someone who knows someone who's got a taxi that can drive you all there. So I think we're going to be good. There's quite a few people in the bus. It's quite the bus situation here. How many people are on that bus? I don't know. It looks like it's about a 12-person bus with about 20 people on it. And we need to get on next. Yeah, the bus system is a bowl of confusion. Here we go. What a shit show here. Oh my God, musical chairs. Now what? Wow. It's like a clown car. Baby. Well, I guess we're standing here.
That's okay. Thank you.
Come see. If you have to close the door. Do they pick up the checkers?
You okay there, you too?
It is hot in this van. I don't know that you'd want to be in this thing in the summer. It smells like roast chicken. And we got a driver change. Yeah, there's definitely some roast chicken on this van. Somebody giving the driver a snack. Oh, it's like a sauna in here. If anybody farts, we're in trouble here. Oh, Purdue. I don't know how far you could go on that thing. You're roasting yourself in there. It smells like a cross between roast chicken and sweat. Anyway, I hope when we get the bus, the next one, we can sit. The funny thing is, you're in there, you're freaking roasting, and they got a vent that they open, but until they open it, they actually ask the people sitting if they mind if the vent's open. Meanwhile, you're standing there about to freaking pass out. Anyway, when they opened that vent, it was a bit of saving grace. Oh, now there's going to be a whole bunch of people here for this freaking bus, and we're going to be standing the whole way. This is the last bus in, and you can see there's people coming here, I think, to get on. I hope we don't have to stand an hour. That'll stink. Anyway, we got 20 minutes till it shows up. So it's 2 hours and 30 minutes round trip is the amount of time you need to spend to come here for the day. It's too bad there's no buses that are later. You can make a little bit more use of your time. Maybe in tourist season there's a few more, but it is what it is. You got to work with what you got. Well, God help us if we have to ride on this bus an hour through the mountains standing up. Then my recommendation would be for sure to take a taxi and not suffer for this. I guess we shall see. So in terms of the bus stop, to go back to Saranda, there's actually no bus stop. You just stand outside a market here. Market Ziyaj. And the bus is actually going to be coming from Saranda, which is from the north. It'll turn the corner here, and they just know that all the people standing here are waiting for the bus. The bus isn't run by the city. These are all kind of private company buses. You get on, you tell them where you're going. Sometimes they'll get the money from you when you're on the bus, depends how full it is. But for sure at the end, they'll get off when you get off, and you'll pay them, and away you go. Anyway, here's more people coming for the bus. This is not looking good. So far there's 7 of us. These buses are not that big. Sometimes you have to endure some crap to see the good stuff. All beautiful fresh flowers. Just like the produce here. It's amazing. Tomatoes that taste like nothing you've ever had before. Like a tomato that it's just so much better than any tomatoes I've ever had before. Cucumbers that actually have flavor. They don't just taste kind of like water. That's great. And all very inexpensive. A really good salad is about 300 lek. So affordable, and they're huge. You can just have it as a meal on its own. This is not looking well for a seat. It'll be an hour of standing on a hot bus through windy mountain roads, up the mountain, down the mountain. Oh, sweet. The bus is here. It looks like it's got a seat.
It's okay, good.
Hey. Nice.
He was coming back.
We made it back. And looks like we got seats too.
Good stuff.
Well, success.
We made it on the bus, and there's even seats.
That's right. Hour to go. Quite a big downhill, and all I smell right now is bus brakes, burnt rubber, transmission oil. I don't know. We just have to go up a giant hill. Now a giant downhill. Somebody told me the other day they wanted a bus in Albania that was going downhill, and the driver actually turned the engine off and coasted in neutral. What the heck? Anyway, definitely we've got some overworked brakes on this thing. The bus is 15 minutes behind schedule, so we'll see. We made it.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Do, Josh.
900, yeah? How much? Hey.
Thank.
Kalmander. Mir pavshim.
You pavshim.
Alright, so the bus was a little bit late, but it's actually really good for time. Pretty decent service. We'll do a summary here at the end. On the screen, we'll show you our cost for the entire day to do a one-day road trip by bus, how to do it, and what it costs and what we were able to do during that time frame. Well, we hope you enjoyed the day with us. We started the day in Saranda at 8 o'clock in the morning, took a bus, a second bus, spent the day in Gjirokaster, and then returned on 2 buses at 5:15. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you're new to our channel, we'd ask that you hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really helps our channel out. I'm Jay.
And I'm Sarah.
We're a couple of crazy Canadians. We sold our home, we left our jobs, we're traveling the world full time.